Another year has passed, fellow Walking Dead fans, and with the new year coming, it means I need to recap and give you guys my top 5 favorite Walking Dead action figures from 2015. And just like my previous year's top 5, my top 5 of 2014, I will be combining both McFarlane's TV series line of 5-inch action figures as well as their comic book line of 5-inch action figures. So it's all of them together, and it was really hard this year. There were so many great action figures released for the Walking Dead action figure lines that it was really tough. Up front here, these are not in the top 5, but they are honorable mentions. And then even behind them, we have others that came throughout the year. And a lot of them are really great in their own rights. It was tough to pick out a top 5 this year, but the top 5 are really special. So let's just get right into it. And I'll go over these honorable mentions real fast, kind of like it's my top 10. And if that were the case, Gareth would be number 10 on my list. And I really think this is an underrated action figure from the Walking Dead line of TV series figures, because he holds a great likeness to the actor that played him. Really just a nicely done body overall, has great articulation, nice detail, and with Bob coming out in Series 8, gives this action figure all new light, being able to pose him with Bob Stookey. I won't ruin anything in case you haven't seen it, but if you're watching my videos, you're probably a big Walking Dead fan. So, you see what he's holding there. But, yeah, overall, a very underrated action figure, and really makes for a lot of good custom Walking Dead action figures as well. I've seen a lot of people make some pretty interesting customs with him. So, he's my number 10 spot. At number 9, we actually have a zombie. And this is my favorite walker from the TV series line of action figures. It's from TV series 7.5, the Flu Walker, the Cell Block Flu Walker, which is basically a retool and reuse of the Series 5 Glen Rhee. But there's a lot of new sculpted pieces on here that it doesn't feel like a reuse at all. And really is just a great addition to your zombie horde and zombie army if you're building one. And he doesn't come with any accessories, but none were really needed for a cool looking zombie. And it was nice that he had no gimmicks to him. That was one thing I'm happy about. Just a really nicely articulated zombie that you can get in some really nice poses for dioramas and setups. And coming in at number 8 is Morgan Jones from Series 8, and really I have both versions here. One you get in Series 8, the clean version, and the other you get with the deluxe box set with the walker trap and female walker. And both versions are great. They come with slightly different accessories. The single pack coming with the most accessories. It's really nice, the single card version, of how many different accessories he comes with, even a head swap. So that was really a nice added feature for this Morgan Jones to come with so many accessories, even a backpack. So really this just depends on if you're a completist, if you want to get both, or just want him in the blood splatter look or clean look. But both are great figures. And now we're getting closer to the top 5, and both Carls were great this year. But if I had to pick one over the other, I would pick the comic series over the TV series. So the TV series, 7 Carl Grimes takes my number 7 spot. And he is a much better Carl Grimes than our first outing in TV series 4. He's a little bigger since he was a little older in the show at this point. So he does have better articulation, a lot better articulation with the updated hips. And was probably the best one out of TV Series 7. Michonne had really good likeness in that series as well. As you saw, I already went over Gareth, but he was probably the best out of that series. But I did prefer the comic book series Carl over the TV series. This is just a very iconic look. I mean, he was narrowly cutting the mark. He almost made it into the top 5, but he has some glaring weaknesses in articulation, and they all kind of just fall from the size of the action figure. But accessory-wise, he is phenomenal, coming with this huge M16, which was previously Abraham Ford's, and a pistol, and 3 different head sculpts along with his hat, which is removable. So it was so nice to get all that, although he does not hold the weapons very well. So there's one glaring weakness that kept him out of the top 5, along with the articulation. But all in all, a great looking action figure and a must-have if you're a fan of these comic book series line of action figures. So alright, now we will get into the actual top 5 Walking Dead action figures this year. My personal picks. So starting off with number 5, from Comic Series 4, we have Abraham Ford. And this is one of my personal favorites from the comic line of action figures now. I really personally like this character a lot in the TV show and in the comic book. But not just liking this character gets him up on my number 5 spot, but the actual action figure himself is a perfect likeness to his comic book counterpart. Great articulation, amazing accessories, huge rucksack, and of course his little shortened down version of a AK, pistol, and a pitchfork, which I don't have on him right now, but great accessories, all stuff that he was wearing or used during his first appearance. So, great action figure. If you're a fan of the comic series line of action figures, a must pick up. And also, before I continue in this top 5, I do have reviews on every single Walking Dead action figure that was released this year. So, if you missed any or want to see any or are just new to this channel, go to my playlist. I have one for the comic series line of action figures that has all my reviews in it. And then I have one for my TV series as well. So, number 5, Abraham Ford. Coming in at number 4, we have our first Skybound exclusive on the list, and that's Alpha, who is the most recent character we have gotten in action figure form from the comic books. I was really surprised when they announced this release for the Black Friday Skybound exclusive, and they really handled it well. There's not too many glaring weaknesses on this action figure. She is almost perfect and really comes with some nice accessories. An alternative head. Right now I have her walker face on, her skin face. But she did come with an alternative clean head as well, which I go over in my review if you want to check it out. And she comes with a nifty machete and her double-barreled shotgun, which is the one thing that I thought was kind of weird with this action figure. You actually have to plug in the gun. Has a hole in the handle, and she has a peg in her hand that you have to plug into, which is kind of a distraction if you don't want to pose her with the gun. That is one tiny thing that kept her from being any higher. Who is my personal favorite zombie ever for these Walking Dead action figures. He's just incredible. What a great gimmick action figure they thought of, with letting you be able to just poke him and prod him everywhere with all these different weapons he comes with. And that's one great extra thing about this action figure, is he comes with so many accessories. All these weapons plunged into him right now actually came with him. So you get, 7 real nice weapon accessories here, along with a really greatly sculpted zombie with an awesome action feature. So, definitely my favorite zombie this year, if not overall. The pincushion zombie takes my number 3 spot. And it's been looking a little bit like a kind of running theme here in my top 5, if you can't tell, of comic book series action figures. And it's continuing. My number 2 spot is my favorite comic action figure released this year. And that is the San Diego Comic-Con 2015 exclusive Michonne. And there's nothing I don't like about this action figure. Perfect sculpt, perfect paint job. She doesn't come with that many accessories, but the accessories she comes with are great. The katana, that's really all she needs. And it's much better than her previous release in the comic book series. That comic series 1 Michonne's katana was a lot less realistic looking. This is actually a reuse off of the TV series Michonne's katana. And she comes with a pistol as well. But just a great look. It's based off of her look kind of during the All Out War story arc, a little before that. So, really great look overall. One of the best face sculpts for the comic book series, period. That's exactly how she looked in the comic book. Almost like Charlie Adler's artwork, just here in 3D form, really. So, alright. Now, let's get a little drum roll for my number 1 spot. And if you haven't guessed it, well, what do you think? The Flashback Rick Grimes, the Walgreens exclusive. And you had to know this is my number 1 pick. We get Rick back to his season 1 appearance. Exactly the same action figure as the TV series 1 Rick Grimes. But now, he comes with this nifty sheriff's hat. So just unbelievable. Whoa, what's this? Over here. Bam, 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 bam. Oh, hell no, it's not that Rick Grimes. We got the TV Series 8 Rick Grimes is my number 1 spot. Hosing down that recrapped, retooled, crappy version of Rick Grimes. You had to know this was going to be not my number 1 pick if you're a fan of my channel. I was really ecstatic about this release. This is definitely the best version of Rick Grimes we've gotten in the TV series to date. It looks the most like Andrew Lincoln. The entire body sculpt is great and is actually a little bit of a reuse on the bottom. From his waist down, he's a reuse of the Series 6 Rick. But even with having those reused parts, I don't mind at all, because we didn't really need a new sculpted bottom for this action figure to be great. All we needed was this jacket to come out perfect, that is so iconic of Rick wearing in the show. And they did a phenomenal job. Accessory-wise, comes with this great AK-47, which was a much-needed accessory in these Walking Dead action figures. His red-handled machete, as well as his Colt Python, which for some reason does not fit that well into this holster. It's the same exact holster that came with the TV series 6 Rick, but the plastic may be a little different on this one because it doesn't fit in there well, but it is an easy fix if you heat it up and stretch it out, just to give everybody a little tip if they're having problems with that. But that's the only glaring weakness. Besides that, this is a perfect Rick Grimes action figure. My favorite one done to date, outside of the comic book series. I really like that comic series 3 Rick. But definitely my favorite in the TV series, and my number 1 pick this year. Out of all the figures in my top 5, this is the only one from the TV series. I really love that comic series a lot, but I was ecstatic to get this release. So, alright guys, let me know what you think of my top 5. Let me know what your top 5 is down in the comments below. And let's get ready for a great year of Walking Dead action figures in 2016. So, stay tuned. There's going to be a lot of reviews coming next year, guys. I'll catch you later.